Hello, the following is the solution to example 2 in section 1.5 of your notes. This problem is exactly the same as example 1, except the numbers have changed. That's it. Let's read this. A piece of machinery produces rectangular sheets of metal so that the length is twice the width. Equal sized squares measuring 10 centimeters on a side can be cut from the corners so that the resulting piece of metal can be shaped into a box by folding up the flaps. If specifications call for the volume of the box to be 7,500 cubic centimeters, find the dimensions of the original piece of metal. Again, we're working with a rectangle, so draw a rectangle, or a reasonable facsimile of one. The length is going to be twice the width, so I'm going to define my variable w as the width. That means that the length is 2w. So the length is 2w. So this is 2w, this is w. Again, squares are cut out from the sides so that each side of the square is 10 centimeters. That means that the length that we're using here is actually 2w minus 20, and the width here is w minus 20. Again, the total volume is 7,500 cubic centimeters. And since the volume, 7,500 cubic centimeters, has to be equal to this length, 2w minus 20, times this length, w minus 20, times your height, and your height is going to be that, so it's 10. So 7,500 is equal to 2w minus 20 times w minus 20 times 10. Then you simplify. I'm going to do this a little bit different from last time. I'm going to go ahead and divide everything here by 10. It's actually going to make everything simpler because that 10 and that 10 are gone, and 7,510, well, the two zeros cancel each other out, kind of. That's kind of a shortcut if you don't know that. So I'm left with 750 is equal to the product of those two factors. 2w times 20 is 2w squared. 2w times negative 20 is negative 40w. Negative 20 times w is negative 20w. So, negative 40 minus 20. That gives me negative 60w. Negative 20 times negative 20 is positive 400. Subtract 750 from both sides, so that gives me 2w squared minus 60w. 400 minus 750 is negative 350, and that's equal to 0. Notice 2w squared, negative 60w, and negative 350 still have a common factor. That's a common factor of 2, so I'm going to divide everything by 2. So that gives me w squared minus 30w minus 175 is equal to 0. Last time I solved this type of equation using the quadratic formula. This just happens to be where I don't actually have to use that because this is factorable. It may not be obvious to you, but if you look at the factors of 175, you're going to see that 35 times 5 gives you 175, and that's a difference of 30. So because this is minus, that means that the larger number has to be minus. So negative 35 is there, and a positive 5 is there. That gives me w is equal to negative 5, and w is equal to 35. We reject the negative 5 because we can't have a negative distance, a negative length. So w equals 35. The width is 35 centimeters. because the width is 35, the length has to be 2 times 35, which is 70. So, the original dimensions are 35 centimeters by 70 centimeters. Be sure you use a sentence with proper grammar. That means capitalization, punctuation, noun, subject, predicate, all that good stuff. Also, if it's spelled correctly in the problem, please make sure you spell it correctly in your answer as well. For example, some people may not be able to spell dimensions very well. Since it's spelled here in the problem, I expect you to be able to spell it in your solution.